Well, good morning everyone and welcome once again to Ed's Orchids. I've been asked a few times to try and explain how I grow my Paphiopedilums. So in this video I will try and do just that and show you how I try to succeed in growing these beautiful orchids. The first thing you should remember if you're growing Paphiopedilums, to my mind, is to treat them all as epiphytes, which means roughly you've got to keep them moist, but secondly you've got to give them plenty of air. So what you have to take into consideration is that you need a pot with plenty of holes in, like a basket, the correct medium, and that's about it for potting. The pot's not too big, not too small, but which allows plenty of air to pass through. I explained what the Paphiopedilum needs. I have unpotted multifloral, and just to show you what I use for compost. This is a, what is it on the label? Paphiopedilum lowii cross superbiens. So it's a new one on me, it hasn't flowered yet, so we'll see what to do. Anyhow, we've got the materials here, which is perlite, horticultural foam, some ordinary fir bark, some orchiata, and some charcoal. Now what I like doing is I mix all these together. I like mixing the orchiata with the ordinary bark. This gives the mixture a little bit of dolomite and a little bit of calcium and stuff like that. And that, and mix it all together. Well, those are the ingredients I use. Get the plant, I've cleaned all the roots up, took all the bad ones off. There's only about 2 or 3. But what I do, and what I don't think a lot of people do, is you feel the hard roots, go down to the bottom, and if it's soft, cut it off till you get to a nice place where that's still growing. Just chip the ends off. There's a bit too much in there, it won't sink. And again. So just to get this where the top is on a level with the crown. Just give it a good banging. Get everything in there. And this mix will ensure that it will keep moist, and it will also let plenty of air in, which is very, very essential. I like a little bit of horticultural foam because the Paphiopedilum roots, which are hairy, seem to stick to it better. Oh, excuse me. We'll just fill this up. Just a brief summary how I pot them and what the contents of the compost is. But it's quite easy, just keep tapping it to make sure everything's filled up. And that's it. So what we've got now, we've been through what they need. We've been through the potting, we've been through what type of pots to use. I'm not really concerned about over potting because the roots spread a lot wider than the plants really on a lot of cases. Don't forget to put that back, and that'll spin a lot. Now I like to give my multifloral paths plenty of heat around the roots. So not only does this help to grow the roots, but it helps to dry the plant out, dry the compost out when after you've watered, which they really need a quick drying out process before you water again. So I've constructed this sand bed. It has in heaters, which I'll show you in a moment. I've removed a few of the plants just to show you. And here we come. Those cables you can see here are the heating cables that run the full length, and this is the thermostat that controls the heat. There's a thermostat here at the side. If I can just show you, it gives the temperatures and stuff like that. So that keeps a nice warm sand bed. Also, after you've watered the plants, the water runs through the pots into the sand and keeps that nice and moist, which helps with the humidity. So to finish with, I'll just run through the multiflorals I've got. I'll not name them all because there's that many of them. But you can see, this is another sand bed I have on top of the other one. They got watered twice yesterday, and they'll be watered again today, just with leaching. These are the ones that I've shown you. The noise you can hear is that the heater's just come on. And there's the heater. It's a brand new one. I went away last weekend to a Multiflorals meeting, and on the Friday it blew up, so it's a good job I had a bit of a spare. So those are multiflorals. I think we should look at a few multifloral plants I have. The first one here is David Ott. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant, this, when it flowers, but so slow growing you wouldn't believe it. Very slow for a hybrid. I've had this about two and a half years, and it's just put up a new growth here, which is a sign it might be flowering this year. Now another sign that it might be flowering is that if you look at the base here above the compost, it starts to swell. Now when that starts swelling, it's giving you signs that it wants to flower. So I'm quite hopeful in the next 2 or 3 months that will start to flower. Well, it'll start to spike anyhow. So that's a David Ott. Multiflorals David Ott. It's a cross between Supardii species and the Rothschildianum. Another one here, which is much smaller, is Multiflorals Dolgoldii, which is a cross between the huge species Rothschildianum and the very small, cold-growing Armeniacum. Now this has only got a leaf span of around about 29-30 centimetres, and I've had it quite a few years. It just came as a single plant, but it's spreading very rapidly. You can see the growths on there, I hope. I think there's about 5, maybe even 6 growths, and it's still continuing to grow from here. But these are very, very difficult to flower, and I don't put this on the hot sand bed due to the breeding of Armeniacum, which is a cold-growing, small Multiflorals. The flowers on this, when they do grow, are quite large and bright yellow from the Armeniacum. So I don't keep this on the hotbed, like I said. I keep this with the ordinary paths, which are just slightly cooler. Now a lot of people think that all paths should be grown cool. But if you think about it, what they say cool in the tropical conditions is probably warm here. So I try and keep everything at sort of an intermediate condition, temperature. Now what we have here is Path Sinswithen. Now this is a real beauty. This is a cross between Rothschildianum and Philippinense. This flowered last year with 5 growths on, and this year it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 more growths capable of reflowering. So that should be really nice as well. I think I've shown you this one before, the Esquirolii, but the other bud is now opening, and you can see it's much different to the one behind it because the petals are flat. It's not quite open yet, but I hope you can see what I mean. It hasn't opened yet, and eventually in 2 or 3 days after it's opened properly, it'll go like this, all wavy edges and one thing and another. I think that's very beautiful. It's Esquirolii species. Now these are the what I call the ordinary paths. Some species, some hybrids, and you might be wondering why I have them under the light there. It's because when you're reading books it says that Paphiopedilums grow best in shade. Well, it all depends what part of the world you're in for shade. You know, what's shade in one country is bright in another. So I don't think you can give Paphiopedilums too much light, especially in winter. Just give them as much light as you possibly can. And we come down and we've got all sorts of stuff here. Don't ask me to name them. Oh, there's that's quite interesting. There's my Cranthum I'm trying to grow on in a basket. Not watered much this time of the year, but doing okay. There was 2 and now there's 3 in, so that's not doing too bad. Because you see it's in a basket again for the air. Air is very, very important to all plants. If you've got strong air movement, you're preventing bacteria and fungi developing. Here's a Rhinanthera that I put outside during summer to get wet through, and the roots grow like mad. It flowered 2 years ago with 53 flowers on one stem, but I've had nothing since. Maybe because I'm not keeping it hot enough. Well, I think that's about all I can show you for now. We'll just go across the mounted ones. Here they are, plenty of them. Some with the back steer, but they're facing the light when I switch the lights on. 1 or 2 in flower, 1 or 2 in bud. There's some more up here. Just a quick run through the greenhouse. Well, I think that's about all I can show you today. Thank you for watching. If there's anything I've missed, please let me know and I'll try and rectify it. So until next time, bye.